Brody, what a great speech. I want to go through some things that you did really awesome first, and then give you some things to think about. The title of your speech was great because when you look at it on the agenda and you would hear it during a contest, people would wonder what you're going to talk about. Your pauses were really good. Your attire was great. As Greg said, this is the best we've ever seen you. We had one person from another club that said you should always be the best dressed person in the room when you're speaking. So I think that's great. You're confident. You had great eye contact with everybody. Gestures were good. And I'll come back to that in just a moment. So some things you might want to think about. Get rid of that little bag you had. Just pull this out. Like tuck it in your pants or do something like that. Now you're talking about the pink elephant. And as far as gestures go, it was a little cumbersome, you hanging on to it the whole time. At one point you were going like this to pull out something else out of your pocket. So I would suggest you have a little table, and you can bring a table in for the contest. Or if there's a lectern there, you can set it aside, because you did have it was fun. You picked it up at the end and you threw it away, which was really fun. I thought maybe your intro was just a little bit long, because what I think you were really getting into was mental health and your story and how you came out of that story. Your story was really good. You talked about sports, and maybe you have another prop. Maybe you have a baseball. You pull it out of one pocket and throw it away. And then you talk about, well, that didn't work. And then you went into drugs and alcohol. Well, how well did that work for you? You could pull this out. This is my brain on alcohol. And as you know, there's some plasticity involved with alcohol and drugs. Your brain can adjust. Now you put this back in your pocket and come back to that later when you talk about plasticity. And your gestures were good. Maybe you get enthusiastic this time when you talk about neuroplasticity. You know, I was so excited to learn that the brain isn't just a hard object. It does move around. So now you pull it out and add a little humor into the discussion. The closing, what do you want us to really take away from this? I mean, one was your story, but what do you want us to do? Do you want us to, one thing was focus. So do you want us to notice things? You know, notice the person that you're with. Notice a tree. Notice that little child. Really become aware. And realize that your brain is growing all the time. You have the ability to adjust and become who you want to be.